basically, people I think are allowed to criticize Nintendo games. That's not the point of this video because I think anything that is popular should be allowed to be criticized. Yes, even the quote unquote greatest movies of all time, people can have criticisms for them. Okay, or the quote unquote greatest games of all time. There's obviously going to be not everyone's going to like something. But apparently, because people disagree with the public thing, it means that they're bad people now. Okay, look at the whole N64 thing, because I didn't play the N64 game. I was not born in the 90s. Doesn't make me a bad person. Okay, let's try to admit that Nintendo games are good and successful because they aren't just because. Okay, apparently this is this anti-Nintendo cult, but these are big YouTubers. Okay, you know, I think they have even like the games like people like say you should not touch or say are bad, like the first Zelda game, Ocarina of Time, Mario 64. Like there are like some people have actual genuine criticisms for Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time and the first Zelda. People have genuine criticisms for like every game out there. Okay, or every movie out there. Okay. For example, I do not like the Incredibles movie, but almost all of the internet loves that movie. According to the internet, it is among the greatest animated movies ever made. But according to me, it's just mediocre. It's not the villain is okay. I don't like the final battle. It's all been the Incredibles versus Syndrome, and the Incredibles have to learn to use the powers together to fight Syndrome if his new gained powers instead of some giant robot. I think that would have been a much better ending, having all of the Incredibles fight off against this guy, having the get defeated because they don't realize, and then basically at the end, yeah, I think that would have been a better final battle. I still like the final battle of the Incredibles. It's just very disappointing. But again, that is my criticism of the movie. Most of the movie was relatively fine to me. I just didn't care for that final battle. No, as well. But if people give Mario Odyssey 7 out of 10, then that's fine with me. I would give it like a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's a perfect game, but it's still a pretty fun and great experience, nonetheless. Okay, I wouldn't give Mario Odyssey a perfect score. Okay, I'll give it like a 9.5 or something out of 10. But basically, Metacritic is give you 9.5 out of 10, so we'll give it 9 out of 10. I've never played Splatoon 3, New Horizons, and Tears of the Kingdom. A lot of people hate New Horizons simply because they didn't, like, these people, like, Animal Crossing fans, you guys are ungrateful, okay? Like, it's the biggest Animal Crossing game today, it's the most customizable game, but they're upset that there's no constant updates for the game, basically. Just flat out admit the Nintendo games are good. Like, this guy wants you to say the games are good, but I think people have rights to give the games criticism, okay? I think people have rights to give Mario Odyssey, Tears of the Kingdom, New Horizons, and Splatoon 3 and other newer Nintendo games criticism as well. Okay? No game is perfect. Okay? Every game has their flaws, and I think we should admit that. Okay? The problem with the internet discourse surrounding certain games is that certain games, you can't criticize them because they're quote-unquote perfect. And I think that's the problem. I think the biggest problem comes from the Undertale fan base. If you criticize Undertale like I did back in the day, you'll basically be crucified online. Okay, my Undertale video was just trolling. I sort of not made that video. But again, I was a teenager. And that video is still up because it used to be the most viewed video. I deleted a lot of those types of videos. But if someone has genuine criticism for Undertale, don't call them a troll. They have genuine criticism for the game. Let's accept it and move on. Or just don't watch the video. We think, but again, the Undertale fandom is pretty annoying. I basically say that every time I mention Undertale, it's pretty bad. I hate the Undertale fandom. But, yeah. Just leave these YouTubers alone, okay? They have every right to criticize the game, And not every game is going to be a perfect, untouchable masterpiece that you can't criticize. So yes, for once, people could be surprised by this video. Like, oh, you like, how dare you not call Tears of the Kingdom a 10 out of 10 masterpiece? But I think if people want to criticize Tears of the Kingdom, like actual criticism, not saying it's DLC, not that horrible criticism, because that's bad criticism. That's calling it Zelda DLC or something like that, when that's not real criticism. If you complain about like the game mechanics or the gameplay or the story, and you don't like that stuff, but just calling it DLC for Breath of the Wild is absolutely absurd. Absurd. Or the fact that you guys are still complaining about that there's no updates for New Horizons, okay, or something like that. Like Nintendo does not have need to constantly update New Horizons and add things. Okay, New Horizons is not a live service game. It does not need constant updates. The game is fine as it is. And that's about this video here. Goodbye.